Good morning and welcome. It is Wake Up Nigeria. Now, when it rains, look out for rainbows. And when it's dark, let's say look into the sky for stars. Abby?
Yeah.
No matter the situation, always look at the brighter side of life. That's how I like
I
it.
like what you just said. It's really cool. But hey, good morning. And welcome to a Feel Good and Uplifting Tuesday edition of the ultimate breakfast family experience with us. The show is Wake Up Nigeria.
Thank you very much. You're looking rather green today.
I love, this is actually one of my favorite shades of green.
Really?
Yes, I love teal.
Oh.
And for some weird reason, I've been observing for about 8 to 10 years now. Good things always happen to me when I wear green.
Nice. I like it. I like nice. I like nice. I like it.
I understand.
I do remember last week somebody had this shade of green, and I called the person vegetable because it's the ugu color.
But
I'm
waiting for you to say it.
No, nothing. It's a good green.
Because if you guys did not see my name for the rest of the show, just know that I have something to do with it.
In any case, you guys are welcome. It's not going to be like this all the way. It's going to be fun. I'm not going to be angry all the time. We are here every single weekday with one purpose and one purpose only. That is to put a smile on your faces, and we're glad that we are off to a good start. Hopefully, we're able to get you guys to do that throughout the entire day. All you need to do is just remember that you started the day here with us.
Remember, life isn't 100-meter race. It's not. It's a continuous marathon. So steady does it as you maneuver through the day. All right? And of course, you can hop and jump through obstacles and hold on to opportunities as well. Let me see if I can
Don't do it,
in my
girl,
heels.
Don't.
I did it. I did it.
I put it to you that you can no longer skip.
I've never been able to skip. I'm one of those.
The older you
odd
get,
people.
we forget how to skip.
You don't get. I've never been able to.
You can't skip.
No matter what I do, I somehow.
Try it out. Try to just do that.
Guy, I've never been able to. Let me not just embarrass myself. This bomb was not last on the floor.
Woohoo!
Hallelujah.
It's a beautiful morning, and we are set to pace it out for you guys. A new chapter every hour if you stick around with us. Let's
That's
start
right.
that journey of 1,000 miles with one skip.
And we hope you take that step too. As there is so much more to look forward to this week. My name is Mary Basha Alimi.
My name is Mazino Appeal. Remember, you can use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria anytime you want. That's WakeUpNigeria on TVC as the show progresses, because we love to read from you guys.
Now remember, you can also watch us live from absolutely anywhere across the world. You just need to download the app from the Google Play and iOS store. Easy peasy.
And follow us, please, if you haven't done that already. Facebook, Threads, X, formerly known as Twitter, your X, TikTok and everything. It's at TVC Connect. It's that simple.
Now, let's tell you what we have lined up for this beautiful Tuesday.
Yes, indeed. We always look forward to this one.
Yes, Jadesola Adedeji. She is a co-founder, STEM Mets. Of course, that's a social enterprise. She's going to be on the show today to teach us something really exciting. I'm actually looking forward to what she has in store. She's always up with something fantastic for the children.
And coming up, Quinn Dallin is going to be joining us for a very exciting performance here. She's a singer with a very unique kind of music. So, hey, we look forward to having her here on the show and experiencing that music.
And then, of course, it'll be time for us to talk health. We're looking forward to having that conversation this morning.
And then coming up, Violet Ejiata, a seasoned beauty queen whose undying penchant for service to community birthed her passion for female reproductive health. She's going to be joining us today as we talk about her endeavors and pageants and everything else. Alrighty then, welcome Tuesday edition. You are welcome. Good to have you here. Whoa, you remind me of a Disney cartoon. Brave. Haven't you seen Brave? You seen it, yeah?
Yes.
What's up with the ginger?
I feel like I haven't rocked this look enough.
Rock it.
So I
was actually
decided
looking at
this.
orange, but you're right, ginger.
Ginger, it's actually ginger. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's nice. We have our very own Disney princess in the house here.
Well, thank you very
Absolutely.
much.
Right, so let's talk about this very interesting thing. I wanted to talk about it yesterday, but we didn't have plenty of time. There's this very beautiful lady who's on Instagram living her life to the fullest. She's young, and of course, if you know these young people these days, nothing is held back. They put out everything there on social media. She's put up pictures of herself, well, fairly unclad, and also indulging in certain activities that people would consider risque. She's also a lawyer, by the way. Her name is Ms. Ifunaya. And the Nigerian Bar Association put out a petition against her, saying that the way we're looking at this one, she cannot continue exhibiting these kinds of traits and then also representing the Nigerian Bar Association.
Yeah.
So, question now. if I live my life on social media, is it anybody's business how I live it on there?
For me, it's the profession. What are the ethics of the law profession in this regard? Are they against it? If they are, then, well, I guess it's a questionable, this is quite questionable, and it should be, I don't know, better discussed or, exactly, raise certain issues. But law, influencer, okay. But then again, so like I said, there's so many questions to look at. Is she also practicing?
I'm not too sure about that.
Because imagine if you have to stand, if you have to defend your clients in a court of law. You know what I'm saying?
Not you. You're not saying anything.
Because I'm actually amused. There's a reason that the law profession is, they call themselves distinguished gentlemen. That's, to me, that's the answer. Like, every profession has its,
Ethics,
peculiarities and all that. But with law, and it's just like a nurse. If you saw a nurse like that on, social media, and then you happen to be getting treated by the nurse, just imagine
what a day that would be.
So, like, I feel when you...
Sign me up for a sickness next week,
Even,
please.
oh, stop it.
Or a doctor.
Or a doctor.
I feel like there are certain professions that you shouldn't
I just feel like, okay, when you're dealing with certain things, like when you're a professional, so to speak, you should know how to keep certain things aside. Let the entertainers do their thing.
Yeah.
It's either you decide to be an entertainer or you stick to law.
Yeah.
It's just weird. Like, nobody will take you serious in court. You're defending somebody. Imagine somebody that is accused of murder. And then they are like, what do you know about murder? Look at you. You that we have seen everything.
In any case, we'd like to know what you think.
And you know the Nigerian thing.
Perhaps maybe during the course of the show, you can use the hashtag and would read it. But let's do the news, or rather, let's do weather before the news, and plenty more coming. What is the matter with you? Good morning once again, and welcome. My name is Mazino Peel. Let's begin with the news. Now, we've been staying with the swearing in of the 45 ministers who wasted no time in resuming at their offices. Some have met with senior officials in their various ministries. Others have deferred their resumption until today. Now, these were the scenes from the different ministries. TVC News State House correspondent Femi Akande reports.
The ministers take the oath of office by pledging allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. These ministers will execute and implement the plans, programs and policies of President Bola Tinubu's administration. With their portfolios assigned to them, they have their jobs cut out already.
With such high honor comes tremendous responsibility. In this moment of abundant promise and peril in equal measure, all of you who have been sworn in have been called to distinguish yourself. Minister of Federal Republic you are, not minister of a region or minister of a particular state.
Now the ball has been set rolling. These men and women, 45 of them, now members of the Federal Executive Council, will resume at their desk in the various ministries to drive the vehicle of governance.
My portfolio has been a shocker to most people. It has been the major upset of the entire cabinet portfolio assignment. However, it's been deliberate. It's deliberate because whoever has an analytical mind will know that the hydrocarbon world, the world is moving away from hydrocarbon. Oil is even on the downward trend in global economy. You now have electric cars, you have gas, you have alternative fossil fuel and all of that. So the world is moving away gradually from oil. So solid minerals is the next growth factor of the Nigeria's economy.
We believe that by the grace of Almighty God and the support of Mr. President, we will be out there on the road 24 hours every single day to ensure that millions of Nigerians are elevated from poverty while we attend to humanitarian needs across board.
And I think all the expectations have been put into words by the president during the inauguration. So it's left for us to roll up our sleeves as ministers in his cabinet to ensure that the renewed hope agenda finds a strong footing.
I'm glad the president also included food security as part of agriculture. That's to say, to secure the food that the country needs. Not only that we have export potentials, but I believe that we can feed the country adequately and also export whatever that is left.
The first Federal Executive Council meeting is expected to be convened in the coming days. And just like President Tinubu, Nigerians have high hopes and expectations from the ministers as they carry on their newly assigned tasks. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
Now, the Economic Community of West African States has refuted claims of manipulation of external powers in its efforts to resolve the political instability in Niger Republic. ECOWAS Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security, Abdel Fattah Musa, disclosed this while reacting to rumors in some quarters. The West African bloc is working to restore political stability in Niger after the military toppled and detained President Mohamed Bazoum on July 26th. ECOWAS met the West African military defense chiefs in Accra, Ghana last Thursday to discuss a possible armed intervention to reverse a coup, with many accusing the bloc of being pushed by foreign powers. Mr. Musa says foreign support is not part of the consideration of the West African body. Do stay tuned. Welcome once again. It's Wake Up Nigeria Tuesday edition. Let's get it on the road. Welcome. It's time for What's Up and About. Let's get it on the road. You had a very interesting thing you wanted us to talk about this morning,
yes, it caught my attention because I know Burna Boy went under fire for something similar 2 weeks ago. Though people were saying it's because of the way he said it. But I feel like no matter how Burna Boy says anything, people will still drag him like generator. But this is from someone on Twitter at Winnie Funds. She said, I'd never understand two broke people trying to procreate. I mean, everywhere hard, then birthing kids to the hardship is pure wickedness. No one can convince me otherwise. See this woman on the road with her 5 children begging. Worse is one is still a toddler. So we decided to talk about this today because there was, that backlash then when
Burna Boy said
something similar about how poor people should not have children. So I don't know.
I would like to say, I feel the same way, actually. I've always said this. Well, I wouldn't put it as harshly as Burna Boy said it, or maybe as, blatantly as this lady said it. But I do believe that in the act of raising kids, it should be a consideration. Do I have
the means,
the wherewithal to actually give these kids a good life, education, and stability? Because I can't imagine actually going through at such a young age all the struggles that some of the kids that I see on the streets. There's this little kid I saw when I started my career on Adema Lakija.
Which career?
As a broadcaster. Okay. Yeah, we're talking about 21 years ago.
You're an old one. Go.
I watched this kid grow from a toddler up until his teens. I dare say I still see him there, but as a grown-up, still on the streets. So, he has siblings as well. So it always hurts me when I see that,
Wait, it was a toddler when you first saw him?
It was a toddler when I first saw him.
And then he still now had siblings after?
Yes.
And they all grew up on the streets?
They all grew up on the streets, exactly. And he is perhaps still on the streets. Now, I perhaps haven't seen him in 5 years, however, because I don't work on the island anymore. But the fact is, I saw him grow through his teens, through his pubescent years, quite frankly. It's just, it hurts me.
Well, the reality with a lot of people these days, for the reasons for procreating or having children is so that they could
one of them must
for them. No, work for them. I have come to, over the weekend, and it's also because of my experience with having, helps. So what I've come to learn is that some of these people come from, different parts of Nigeria.
Yeah, exactly true.
Those, rural areas, right? Their parents send them out to Lagos or maybe Abuja or any parts where, there's a need for domestic helpers. and then they work for them. So while they're working, they're sending monies back home
to their parents.
So that's the and
plan.
their siblings. That is the plan. That's to tell you the selfishness.
So you think it's selfish, yes?
It's being selfish, and it's very inconsiderate, and it's inhumane. I also heard a story of a young girl who said she is afraid. So usually usually they do this. Some of these domestic helpers work for a year, and then they go back to their parents during the holidays. This particular one said she's not going back for the holidays. Why? Because her parents have married off her younger sister, who's 14.
Oh, wow.
So she believes she's next.
So she's not going home for that reason. So for some parents, it is part of their plan. We are going to have this number of children so that when it gets to a certain age or when they're old enough...
This is going to sound like an unfair analogy, but it just sounds like you're raising cattle.
Darling...
I'm sorry if it sounds
That's why in the beginning I said it is the reality of some parents.
But then again, there's population. There's poverty on the other side.
As of January, we are now 221 million Nigerians.
Not 250 yet. I thought we had already...
But with the progression at which people are giving birth...
I will also say that it's because there's nothing out there to do. You can't afford any other thing. The only way that you can have fun is...
Let's not use that one as an excuse.
But it's happening. It is a fact. Statistically, yes, it is.
Is a nurse. And I remember even while I was growing up, I didn't understand the meaning of family planning. But I know how much the government pushed family planning initiatives. But you see many of these women, when they come to the hospital for care, and they are told by the nurses that when you finish, especially when you give birth, go to the family care, family planning unit. They will tell you that their husband will not approve. And the husband will say you can't use IUD because it's going to disturb him.
There's some religious, what's it called as well?
Look, I'm just going to say this, and I don't know. I know some people's oxen will be gone, but it has to be said. It's okay to have children, but it's not okay to have children if you feel they are going to be the source of your, in quotes, wealth in future.
Oh, let me jump in there.
Let me finish. Okay. You're not ready to invest in those children because there are some poor people who actually go all out, do their best to ensure that their children are successful.
What is the meaning of the Yoruba name?
Rich.
What's the meaning?
And then, of course, life happens to them. And so because of that, they have to raise their children.
You're Yoruba.
Yeah, but then
what's the meaning of the Yoruba name?
Is it fair to say that parents now exploit their children?
That's what it is.
For their own selfish reasons.
And I think culture has a big role to play here because
it does, because in those
Yoruba names, Omolasho.
What's Omolasho?
What's Omolasho?
The child is your covering.
Children.
Yes.
So that you get what it connotes.
But listen,
I must have kids to prove that I am wealthy.
There's something again Yoruba say. They'll say, Ọlọ́run ló ń tọ́jú ọmọ wèrè. That means it's God that takes care of even the child of, a mentally deranged person.
Somebody said that.
So no matter how many you give birth to, God is going to take care of them. And it's not just a Yoruba thing. It's actually a common thing in several parts of the world. I thought it was an African thing.
So just have kids.
When you read, you realize it. They just believe, have the children, God will provide.
Mary, you're actually right. Because someone said this exact same thing to me. I was having a conversation with a friend over the weekend. She came to visit. And she has 2 girls, because I have 2 girls as well. And then I was asking her, are you going to have more kids? She said, no. This is it for me. And then I said to her that, oh, wow, that's quite shocking. Because, I know you Yoruba people like to, give birth, right? And that's not, you just wouldn't any. And she was like, no, I know that she heard some people say that it's God that takes care of the children. Yes, there is God's role in taking care of the kids. There's also your responsibility for taking care of your own children. Everyone has a responsibility, and the parents are the biggest responsibility for the children. Don't bring children into this world for them to now be used for your own selfish reasons.
Do you think it's time
it is not fair. It's very inhumane.
The saddest part is because you look like you have notes. You look like you have your life put together. They believe that you owe them the responsibility of taking care of their children.
What was that story about a guy whose driver had the same amount of kids?
It was in the comment section.
Tell it.
The guy was talking about the fact that he has 5 children. His driver also has 5 children.
And feels entitled.
And the driver feels entitled. Yes, he said, so his name is King Tiobai. And he says, I don't have, he says, I don't have up to 5 children. My driver has 5, and he expects me to be dashing him money for his children's tuition and stuff. Doesn't work that way. I know my capabilities and living within my means.
Because he's been
Exactly.
doing it. It's because he's been doing it.
It's just like another story that was trending a few weeks back, where a lady was talking about the fact that whether a driver or a gateman, I think it's the driver, his wife just gave birth again. And they already have several children. And then she's in that point of, should she let him go? Or should she take on this responsibility again? Because she's the one that takes care of them.
Oh, wow.
Yes, many of these people believe that God is blessing you.
Yes.
So you
So
can
bless
take care
them.
of them.
Yes.
Not so
Very
that you
true.
can take care of your own family.
Very true.
Not so you can help your friends who are in
Very
need.
true.
Not so you can even live a good life for yourself
Yes.
since you are working so hard. No. You were put on this earth to ensure
cater
that
to
those
them.
with 8 children should be taken care of
Do
by
you know
you
what,
with
do you know
one
what happened
child.
in China in the 80s, late 70s and the 80s?
Oh, don't we all know?
Yeah, so you
It's
were
even
mandated.
still-
Oh, now you're
mandated to have
give, just one
kid.
Yes,
But I think
just
they can have
one.
more.
Yeah, now they can have one. That's
but-
because there's
They are
been a lot of
they are more older
people
So
now.
it seemed like the government was aware of the strain that was causing
Yes.
to amenities and everything. You know? So they had to put that in place. Do you think that we need such in Nigeria?
Nigerians will not respect that. They'll tell you, Nigerians, that you cannot count their children. If you say, how many children do you have? Please, we don't count our children here. Look,
And I think it's also
it's very, very important for us to do the best we can for our children.
Yeah.
But let's also remember that there's something called family planning.
Family, yeah.
And let's embrace it.
and have these conversations even before you get married. So both parties are aware and have agreed on the number of children that you're going to have when you get married. Very important.
We will leave our people that have 6 at once, Sha. But
No.
Let's take this break. We'll be back in it.
And you're welcome. It's time for the dailies. We do this every single morning, bring you the headlines so you know exactly what to pick when you get out there. I've got Mary here with me. Mary, are you done with your matutinal, what's it going?
I don't know what you're talking about, but this headline is enough to get you.
Oh, you want to, well, go ahead. Let's begin with you,
Oh,
please.
yes, we
What-
have somebody who is really busy already. The big headline on the Punch newspaper this morning says, federal government may revoke land allocations, demolish 6,000 buildings, slums. Now, illegal buildings must go down. Wike tells ministers, ambassadors, others. Slums in Nyanya, Akpo, Idu, 27 others may be affected. Residents beg minister.
Don't you just like the way he hit the ground running?
I feel like he already knew the role he was going to be given, and he started working like 6 months ago.
Exactly, perhaps.
As in, he's resuming at work yesterday. I don't know whether you saw.
I saw the
moment I saw it, I said,
press.
somebody is back in town.
It makes you wonder, however, if you're going to do that to people and their investments, things that they've spent years building and all of that, are there basic, what do you call them? Not palliatives, no. Are there measures you put in place to help them through
So
this
before
process?
such happens, there would have been warnings, of course, and then there's also that thing of you're told to do due diligence.
Yeah, when you,
before, but the people you want to meet, the moment you sort them out, sometimes they cut corners for you, and so sometimes one needs to look into the future when one is taking certain, decisions and.
That's a hard fact, quite frankly.
It's
It's
quite
rather
sad.
sounds very painful.
Tell you.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
so still
we
on
have
the
more.
Punch newspaper, we have Tinubu warns ministers against ethnic politics, appointees unveil agenda. Chibok girl says, I want to reunite with my Boko Haram husband.
Oh, wow.
Here we also have no teenager confesses taking part in over 40 robberies. Navy arrests 10 oil thieves with over 100 jerry cans. Up here, we have federal government may raise $17 billion from oil asset sale, JP Morgan says. Government to revive Ajaokuta steel. That steel work has been in the state of revival for over 30 years.
So the issue with the Ajaokuta project is that I think it was put together during, it was a partnership with the Russians. Now, the fuel that you use to run Ajaokuta, you can only get from Russia.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. That's why it's been that way. I was going to go back and talk about the Chibok girl who wants to reunite with her Boko Haram husband. Yeah. It begs the question, how much mental rehabilitation these girls were given after they were rescued. Yeah. Because what she's going through is actually a mental issue. It's called Stockholm Syndrome. where you begin to have emotions for your captor. And that's exactly what's going on here. So that question needs to be raised. There needs to be consideration for not just her, but all the girls who went through that ordeal. But may I move on to the Guardian newspaper now? Now, we've got this headline here. Operators unsettled over Tinubu's hold on Petroleum Ministry, not knowing who exactly is going to be in charge. There are talks about perhaps maybe he being the minister, just like the previous president was. We've got a chart here of the 2022 crude oil exports and where Nigeria and other countries stand. At the bottom of which we have Wike to step on toes as Keyamo, Umahi, others unveil vision for ministry. Serve Nigeria, not regions or states. Tinubu charges new ministers, and Nigeria's inflation to hit 28% by year end. JP Morgan projects. Now that would be a very quick rise. Not that it wasn't going to get there, but this would be a very sharp rise in inflation. INEC and 28%. That's almost 30%. INEC and disturbing threats to November polls. And at the top of the Guardian, I think I carried that one already. So that's all the headlines for the Guardian newspaper, in case you're thinking of picking one of them up. What do you have there, Mary?
Okay, so here I have the Daily Times, and it says, I'll step on toes, demolish buildings, no matter who owns them, Wike vows. Here we also have job scammers dupe victims of 765 million in Delta, 5 nabbed. Down here we have Tinubu swears in ministers, Iyako loses at Adamawa election tribunal, armed robbers kill retired cop and his wife, increase allowances to your wives. That's coming from the Assistant Inspector General of Police. Interesting, that one. And then we have up here, Deputy Speaker floats novel idea on roads development in Nigerians. And finally, subsidy removal by also pays wage award to workers. Okay, so I believe the big one here has to do with job scammers duping victims of 765 million. And I find that really painful. Really, really painful. Someone was sharing with me just last week of how somebody reached out to her and said, I have a PS4 to sell. Please, can you help me put it on your status and all? So she did. Only for the guy to dupe the person she got of 90,000 naira in this economy.
So we did talk about this from before. These kinds of crimes will be on the rise, especially when you prey on people's, what do you call it now? Everybody out there wants a job.
Everybody wants a
job. So they'll rush
Everybody has needs.
Exactly.
And some people have been saving so hard for different things. You can't just scam them of their money. That's theft. That's evil.
Well,
in a situation like this, somebody is looking for a job. Maybe you've given the person assurances, probably even given, that belief that there's no doubt about it. So the person goes to take a loan. How do you expect somebody who is jobless to pay back that loan?
Well, that's you empathizing. The person who's perpetrating doesn't
even care. Yeah. It's sad.
Let's move on now. I think this will be our final paper for today. The Daily Trust newspaper has these headlines. Stakeholders set agenda as ministers assume office. Illegal houses will go down. We talked about this. Wike once again. I won't lie to defend government, says Idris. I'll hold you responsible, says Tinubu, talking to the ministers. I'll pursue rule of law, Fagbemi says, and decent employment underway, says Lalong. At the top, real quick, JP Morgan puts Nigeria's FX reserves at $3.7 billion, lower than we thought, and governorship poll tension in Kano as tribunal reserves judgment. Niger crisis, 2 million children need humanitarian aid, say UNICEF, and that is where you will get the heart of people, because in times like these, it's actually the children that actually suffer more.
Sadly. And that's what's also informed our conversation, the
exactly.
Just earlier. Because at the end of it all, when two elephants, are having a tug of war, it's the grass that suffers. It's the children who suffer at the end of the day.
Well, very unfortunate. Those are the headlines for today. If you pick up any of these and you want to share your opinion, we'd love to read from you. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC across social media platforms. Let's move on now to our next segment. Of course, we all look forward to this every single day. The kitchen is always such a beautiful experience, and is in it today. Who do we have today, and what are we having?
So when you say a beautiful experience, are you referring to me?
Oh, you're paid to do a job. Can you focus on that job and forget about you?
Whatever, whatever. All right, guys, welcome to the kitchen. Chef Harmony here. Hello, Chef Harmony.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's good to see you. It's good to have you with us. Okay, so this morning he's making a Queen's special fada rice. It's putting an extra touch, or giving our fada rice this morning an extra touch. So let's run through the ingredients for our fada.
I'll have my parboiled fada rice, my diced carrot, and I have my red bell pepper and green bell pepper. I have green peas. I have sweet corn. I have a bonnet scotch pepper, the yellow one, and I have spring onions. And I have my beef here for the kebab.
Okay.
Making beef kebab.
Beef kebab.
Yeah.
To go with the ofada rice.
Yes.
Okay.
And I have add tomato and white onions.
Okay.
Yeah, I have my seasoning, my grinded crayfish, tomato puree, butter to stir fry. Like, I'm a chef, I believe in herb and spice, not just seasoning. As I have all this here.
You have quite a number of spices over there.
I have sage, I have Italian seasoning, all of that.
Wow.
For me to use a touch, because, you know, I said Queen's of Father special. So it's our own thing. We want to invite it to in an English way. So, and as a chef, you have your own opportunity. You have all your say to create your own recipe.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
As I'm making my own ofada in a Queen's English way.
Fantastic. I see that continental twist that you're giving to our local meal this morning.
It's not going
Ofada rice is actually local.
That is here in Nigeria, but other countries not local.
Do we eat ofada rice in other countries?
That is why I'm bringing up this recipe, because when I travel there, if I'm invited to the kitchen, I'll not make it like a local, I'll make it
like their own meal, but you are adding that continental, flavor to it. Okay, you know what? So where do we begin? What do we do with our ofada rice?
Okay, first and foremost, you know, ofada, like I've said, is like you said, not me, you said local. So it has been well washed and picked because of the stone and some other seed inside. So we need to parboil. That's the first process.
Okay, but you've already parboiled it,
yes?
Yes. Okay, so now what's next?
Touch of with little salt and water. So parboil for like 10-15 minutes. So bring out the water. After that, we invite our vegetables, stir fry the vegetables. I start with my carrot first.
Okay.
So the carrot is the main thing you need to stir for this. I need more.
Okay, you know what? Let's just get right into it, right? Okay, so let's put this on. Let's put on our heat. If you're just joining us, with me in the kitchen is Chef Harmony, guys. And on your screen right there are the ingredients. If you missed out on it earlier on, so I just need to be sure that this is on. Okay, it's on now. Okay, guys, so yes, he is making his Queen's special ofada rice served with beef kebab. And we have our ofada rice already parboiled here. We have green bell peppers, we have red bell peppers, we have carrots, we have sweet corn, green peas, spring onions, and white onions as well. We have our seasonings. It's working with a lot of spices, guys. But I'm sure that if you want to make your own special, you will, and you don't want to use all the spices. Chef Harmony, do not walk out of my set. Thank you very much.
Sorry,
anything that you need, I'm your sous chef. Just let me know, and I'll make it available to you.
Okay.
Are we good? Great. All right, guys, we're going on a quick break now where we're prepping things up here in the kitchen. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
When the end of August approaches, every parent is scrambling to get ready for school. You'd have it in mind to prepare the tuition, but then you're suddenly reminded that it's just like 2-3 weeks away from school resumption and all those bills and payments you have to make. Well, with the school resumption approaching, of course, we have certain tools that children always need in school. And so to talk about that and so much more today is Adeyemi Ojo. He is the Business Development Manager at BIC Nigeria. It's such a pleasure to have you in the studio with us today.
Good morning, Mary.
Good morning. Now, there's so much one knows about BIC, but before we talk about that, let's talk about those sustainable development goals that you were talking about just before the conversation started that your company is working on.
Yeah. BIC being a human expression company, a stationary company, it is in our DNA to make the students, the pupils have a quality and free education. In 2018, we made a commitment to have 250 million students across the globe have a quality education. And we have this program called Sustainable Development, Writing the Future, together with BIC. What do
Sustainable development,
yeah,
writing the future together with BIC.
Yes, writing the future together with
Okay.
BIC. And what is the essence of this? The essence is to give support to students and to teachers. And in doing this, we make donations of writing tools, both coloring and writing materials. And we support schools. We support the needy schools. And even beyond that, we support teachers. Yeah, we foster holistic partnership with NGO that have the same like minds with us. I could remember vividly, recently we finished a renovation of a school at Igondo. It's a multi-million naira development. The school had some natural disaster. A storm blew off the roof. Then the school became dilapidated and the rest and the rest. Then we came in and we renovated the school and we made it what it is to give the students what they will be able to be proud of. Learning environment that is good for them. And beyond that, we form a holistic partnership with some other organizations because we believe that we cannot reach everywhere and we cannot do it all alone. So we look at organizations with like minds and we form partnership with them to still deliver free and quality education to the student.
Now, your brand has been in the market for a very long time. I feel like we all grew up knowing about it. And so today, you're still managing to stay competitive in the market. What are the challenges of BIC faces now, especially with the fact that there are so many other competitors?
Yeah, the way we run our business, we do not run business for business sake, for profit sake. We run our business to impact the life of the students, of the teachers. And why doing that? We are not always conscious of profit, but we are conscious of giving quality education, providing quality tools to these children, to these students, to achieve their own goals. Though the environment is tense, even looking at what is happening in Nigeria today, you realize that most organizations are struggling. But our focus is beyond that. Our focus is to give back to the future of this country, which is, they are our children. They are the future, they are the pillar, they are the people we want to see holding important position in the nearest future. And the future is even now.
Indeed. Yeah. So there's something parents have a huge challenge with. Your biggest competitor are those who make fake versions of BIC. And in most cases, when parents go to buy, you want to buy a pack of BIC because you believe that is a brand you trust. And then you end up with something that isn't working well. How can one distinguish between the fake and the original? Yeah,
when you look at these fakers, they are as experts as the original producers.
The imitation is
almost perfect.
Yes.
So going into that, it will be difficult for you checking for a particular, which I may not even be able to tell you here, because I don't know is even listening to this program. So telling them to look for this, look for that, and
would
this.
only aid the people.
Yeah, exactly, making them more perfect in what they need to do. But what I will advise is that the source of every product matters.
Okay.
The source of every product matters. And we advise our parents to get most of their writing materials from a right source.
Okay.
From a right source. Most of the stationery stores that are well known will not descend so low to the extent of stocking fake. And a lot of supermarkets in Nigeria are selling stationary products. And I believe, too, those people will want to protect their business integrity, and you will not descend so low to selling fake. I think I will advise the people who are saddled with responsibility of maintaining standard should just go and do the right work and block the source and the entries of all these fake into the company. I mean, into the country. Stationary product is what, because you won't, in a way, push forward or having the writing materials that will they disappoint you at the point of making your future, at the point of writing your future. So it is always good that we give quality materials to these students while writing their exam, while writing their notes, while writing all these things. So I will employ the people in that area who need to fight the fake to go after the fakers.
So this, the imploration you made is actually very important, because for many parents, you can even get certain products in certain stores, trustworthy stores, and it turns out that they are sometimes substandard. They are not the correct ones. When we were younger, when you use your biro, you use it till the point of the ink finishing. But these days, you still see ink in the pen, and it's not working anymore. So if one is supposed to get the original, which in most cases, even the original and imitation have almost the same prices, it can be worrisome for an average parent to get that. So I really hope something is done regarding that. But then let's get back to what your brand does generally. What should people be looking forward to, young people in particular?
Yeah. Big, it is in our DNA to give quality materials. And what I will want people to expect from us, they should expect an organization who want to support the journey of our students, who want to support their aspiration, who want to make their expression a reality. One thing we'll be doing in the nearest future, which we are doing currently, is to link education with creativity.
Education with creativity. Okay.
And what do I mean? We have a lot of programs like a Big Art Masters.
Okay.
Big Art Masters is a program whereby we engage people to draw whatever comes to their mind with big pens. Last year, we have more than 7,000 entries from Nigeria.
Wow.
And in Africa, we have about 3 Nigerians being part of the first 10 of that competition.
That's amazing.
So these are things we do. And we support some NGOs. One that readily comes to mind is LISA. LISA is an organization that gives free and quality education to secondary school. I personally visited this organization and I saw what they do. They do an amazing job. So what we do for them, we support them. We donate, we make donation, and we make
that is very commendable. That really is commendable, and I must laud the achievements of your company. Well done indeed. Thank you so much for coming to share this.
Thank you
so
very much.
people are aware that BIC is more than just a pen.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot more attached to your brand.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you as well for watching this. Right now we are heading straight to the kitchen to see what's been going on. I've been hearing a lot of sizzling. Kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀?
Yes, so much is going on. Chef Harmony cannot wait to get this meal started. I had to tell him that, hey, Oga, calm down. Calm down, calm down. We need our viewers to be a part of what's happening here in the kitchen. So quickly, he's making his Queen's Special Ofada rice with beef kebab. Let's run through the ingredients. Tell us where we're at. I see that Awasa is cooking already. So quickly run through the ingredients, Chef Harmony. Over to you.
Okay, like I've said, we've already parboiled this a little bit for like 10-15 minutes.
Okay.
Before I start try to make use of it at all. I still need to invite into hot water for like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Get that hot and that texture back to normal. So
Okay.
I have my warm water, it's plain water, so I don't have to invite the rice inside.
Oh, okay. And on your screen right there are the ingredients, people. So quite kindly go through them. So now let's begin our stir fry because you already started working on it. So now that the water is cooking, we're going to pour in our ofada rice. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Inside.
All right. So what's that going to do?
Just to bring out, just to give it this hot temperature.
Okay.
So,
okay.
and give it-
Basically to wake it up.
Yes.
Fantastic. Quickly, the stir fry. We need to do that before we go on a quick break. What are we doing with that? I see there are carrots already in the vegetable oil.
Yeah, I want to stir fry my vegetables.
Okay.
I have a carrot.
Okay.
Third oil, and so I had a little sesame oil.
Sesame oil.
Little, just a touch to give it that queen's, like I said.
Queen's flavor.
Yeah.
I see you. I see you. Okay.
So I stir fry. Start with the carrot for like say less than 5 minutes.
Okay.
5 minutes.
And then there are other vegetables here that you're working with. We have red, green, and yellow bell peppers. We have sweet corn. We have green peas in there, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You're correct.
All right. Fantastic.
So I have my diced beef inside.
Okay.
So I don't like when food is too boring. I like when I invite some rishi.
Okay.
So here's my diced beef. Just go with the carrot.
Okay. I see there's assorted beef there as well. I see intestine, roundabouts.
The orishi.
Orishi. Aha.
So I stir fry the carrot together.
Okay.
Beef and rice.
So when does the spices, when do they go into the recipe?
Okay.
Into the stir fry?
Spices.
Yeah.
I just had little seasoning to it when I had this one to it. It goes into the rice when I'm stir frying, when I'm mixing all together. Rice and everything.
Okay.
Coming in.
So at the end of the day, this is more like a one-pot dish, right?
Yes.
Great. So it's like making your fried rice, but instead of your regular rice, we are having ofada rice in this regard. Okay, our breakfast is coming pretty nicely together. Pretty stoked about it. All right.
Vegetables inside.
Okay.
So these are not going to stay long at all because
because we want it to be very fresh, right?
Yes. So I'll just stay inside the oil, give it some little heat, and I bring it out.
That is looking really nice.
So I like when food is colorful.
That looks really colorful. Very colorful.
That's why I like bakery, radio, and the colors combination.
Nice.
Give me joy.
Nice.
So,
well done.
So,
this is going to be mind-blowing when it's ready. I can't wait. We have to go on a quick break now, people. It's the top of the hour. I hope you're staying with us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. It's the second hour for the second day of the week here. Refreshing is the best way to describe the first hour gone past. If you didn't see that, well, you lost out.
Oh, yes, you did. We had such an amazing time.
We'll try and make up for you guys.
Okay, well, the show is Wake Up Nigeria. The anchors are marvelous. The chefs are really awesome. The aroma from the kitchen is amazing. And we could go on and on to talk about the wonderful array of guests, but
time is ticking away. But of course, hey, we are inside the rest of the 45 minutes that we have left for the show, and we are asking you not to fret. Don't you worry. It's enough time for us to add a splash of sunshine into your day. Thank you very much.
Indeed. And talking about splash of sunshine, you know, you put splash of this in the pot.
Yes.
Put splash of that in the pot.
Very colorful kitchen.
And then, of course, my goodness, the kitchen looks really amazing. Look at that spread on the table. Emma, what's happening?
Even I cannot contain myself because Chef Harmony is just going at it. I mean, he is just going at it. There's so much going on here. Our stir fry is ready.
Wow.
So here is his own Queen's special ofada rice. So he's giving that continental twist to our local rice, which is the ofada rice here. And you can see the guy is just going. He's just going. He's like a machine. Maybe he's AI. We don't know yet, but hey, we're coming on pretty nicely here in the kitchen.
We are looking forward to the end result. Queen's special ofada rice.
I just want to taste it. You guys can talk all you want. I'm just getting ready to eat it. In any case, it's going to be a good one. So if you stay until the end of the show, maybe you could also experience it vicariously.
We will survive. But it's always a delight to be on your TV. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. My name is Mary Bashwa Alimi.
My name is Mazino Appeal. Do remember now you can use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC across all the social media platforms. Make sure that you download the app as well so you can carry us with you anywhere. You can do that on iOS and on Google Play Store. And of course, if you're not following us already, make sure you follow us across all the social media platforms. We are at TVC Connect.
Absolutely. Now let's tell you what we have in store for you this hour. Jadesola Adedeji, the co-founder of STEMMEDS, a social enterprise found, of course, which is focused on bridging the 21st century skills gap within the Nigerian educational system. She'll be on the show today. As always, we're always looking forward to this. Let's see what she has in store for us.
Quinn Darling Yugli is a songwriter and also gospel recording artist and in-depth worshiper, pastor and also CEO, by the way, of the Glory Ministries. And she'll be performing here with us. Come and See is the name of the track, and we can't wait. Do come and see.
Looks nice. Okay, we have Dr. Dorothy Jeff Ndabani, the MD CEO of Noble Health Africa Limited. She'll be on the show today to have a conversation with us. We're looking forward to that as well.
And Violetta Ejiata, she's a seasoned beauty queen whose Undying Penchant for service to the community birthed her passion for female reproductive health. She will be here to discuss with us on that one very soon. Well, welcome. We already have with us Jadesola Adedeji, co-founder STEMMEDS, a social enterprise focused on bringing the 21st century skill gap within the Nigerian education system and providing hands-on and project-based training. Yes, somebody says we know you already because you've been here, well, this is your fourth time that you've been here. And because of the holidays, we have this segment here where we're talking to parents and children especially, how they can experience science a whole new way. And today, what are we doing, Jadi?
So we are doing what I'm calling lights underwater.
Lights underwater,
yes.
Okay. Why is this important for children to experience? What will they be learning?
Well, I think, as always, it's using visualization to teach children. So we're teaching them today about air, we're teaching about oxygen, we're teaching about the interactions that happens really when things burn. So we're going to be dealing with matches and fire today. So this experiment can only be done under adult supervision. So I need to emphasize that.
I had a thing for fire when I was a kid. I think I was a small arsonist. I used to burn everything I could get my hands on.
We do not want things burned.
Don't do what I did.
Please.
All right, so I see our items here.
Yeah, so we have a jar, well, a big container of water here.
Okay.
We have some candles, tea lights here, and we have a cup. So I will start with, if you can hold that.
Let me help you light it.
Actually, yeah.
I love to burn stuff.
Oh, yeah. So you light it.
All right.
And as you can see, when you put a flame to a candle, it starts to burn because the wick there burns it. So what we're going to do is that we're going to leave this on here, and you can see it's floating. So let's just let it burn a little bit more. I hope we can see this properly.
Okay.
And then what I will do...
Oh, don't let it go underwater.
Yeah. What I will do is I will cover it with this cup and take it right to the bottom.
That was fast. I almost thought it was going to go out.
Yeah. And as you can see, the candle is still burning. How is this happening? Well, as you know, there's air everywhere, and the cup is actually filled with air. Because I left it on for too long, the light has gone out. Okay. So basically what happens, you can light another one. Basically what happens is that this cup is filled with air. And when we cover the candle with it, there's air in there. And there's oxygen, right? So fire needs oxygen to burn.
Okay.
So the oxygen that's in there is actually filling up space and is preventing the water from coming in. So it's protecting the candle in a vacuum.
I am going to do this one.
Yeah, go ahead and do it. And of course, the longer we leave it in there, the oxygen supply is getting depleted, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. Now, to the parents out there, this is
Just
for...
leave it to float.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay, grand. So I'm
put
going
it on there and then push it down.
push it all at once, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Then you can see the light, you can see the candle.
Can we turn out the lights? Can we turn out the lights in the studio so we can see it? Can we turn out the light real quick? I don't want it to go out. I don't want it to go out.
So just bring it back up again.
Oh, okay, hang on. Let's get the light back.
Let's
light it up again. Don't let it get wet, please. All right. So I'm going to ask that we turn out the lights so we can see it. I want the kids. I want the kids to see it. So let's turn out the lights now. Well, you can put it in. All right, grand. And so for the kids out there, this is what happens. So you can see it, you can visualize it better now. Now, there's also a bit of suction to the cup, I notice.
Yes, because, you know, it's creating a vacuum.
And there it's gone up.
Yep, because it sucked up all the oxygen. As we said, you need oxygen for the light to continue burning. So the longer it submerges in there, it's quickly, you know, the flames are consuming the oxygen that's contained in this container. So it's air, and as we know, there's carbon dioxide, there's oxygen in the air.
All right.
So when you cover it, it's eating up the oxygen.
So I burned the cup a bit, but it's okay.
Yeah.
But now, what are the bigger applications that kids can actually apply this to? This is them noting how or what oxygen, light, and how they all interact. But what other applications could they apply this to in the greater science field?
Sure. I mean, a lot of them with experiments at school, when you are working with fire and Bunsen burner, the idea behind it was that when I lit this, I'm providing some sort of activation energy, right? Because as you can see, the candle in itself cannot burn in itself. So it's that idea of activation energy, heat energy, and how you continue to feed something, and how the gases are important in keeping flames alive. So the idea is not just, oh, something is burning, but what's the chemical reaction behind it? And even the wax in itself, the reason, you know, you can feel that pressure is that as the wax is burning, it's taking up oxygen and emitting carbon dioxide. And that in itself is creating that vacuum. So it's really explaining the concepts of vacuum, chemical reactions, and things like that.
Well, Jadisola, it's been very interesting 4 weeks with you, and I'm sure the kids who are on holiday have actually enjoyed every single piece piece of display that you've brought to us. Yes, last week we did the ones with the lungs and stuff.
Yes.
These are simple designs that you can use to display or exhibit to your kids reactions while they are at home with you. I'm sure there's so much they could come up with. Now, this is your last time here, you said.
Yes.
So real quick advice to the kids out there on everything that we've done so far.
I think really just stay curious, ask questions. And parents, yes, you may not know everything, but Google is your friend. Let's create teachable moments and learnable moments with the children.
Yes,
so as ordinary things are going on in the house, we cook with fire, there's, you know, balloons everywhere. Let's explain to them or try and find out and even ask them, what do you think is going on? And if they don't know, let's have a little research project and let them go and find out and do the research themselves. And that way they keep on learning.
That's beautiful. So keep being curious. Don't stop being curious, and don't stop them from being curious. Let them fall, let them break stuff, let them do all of that. It's all the learning process. That's what I'll say. Thank you very much, Jadisola. Always a pleasure. We look forward maybe next time, sometime in the future, bring you back again.
For sure. Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
It has been indeed. All right, now let's do a quick break. When we get back, there's more Wake Up Nigeria on the other side.
Well, it's time for us to talk health. And to do justice to that is Dr. Dorothy Jeff Namani. She is the MD CEO of Novel Health Africa Limited, which of course is committed to creating value through excellent coordination and efficient delivery of healthcare services, better client experience during hospital visits, which is key as always, enhanced client engagement in their own healthcare, reduction in medical errors, and of course, improved clinical outcomes. It's such a pleasure to have you in the studio with us today, Dr. Dorothy. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm good.
Okay. I'm doing very well. Health is something that I've always had great interest in, especially with, you know, clients or rather patients, doctor relationship or patient medical officer relationship. I use medical officer because you're going to meet a lot of people, pharmacists, nurses,
all the
laboratory guys, and also, the health personnel in general. It's very important to have a great relationship with them. However, today our focus is more on that. Yes, relationship. However, information and the importance of the information you provide when you go to the hospital. Please tell us more about that.
Okay, thank you for having me.
Our pleasure.
First, I would like to start by saying that every information is vital.
Yeah.
When you're in the doctor's office, there's nothing that is outside the box.
True.
So it's important that you cultivate that relationship or you already tell yourself, once I get in there, I'm going to be as open as possible. Yeah. So every question, there's no stupid question.
Yeah.
Every question is vital.
And there's no embarrassing
There's
question.
no embarrassing
Yes,
question.
because
So
that's why your doctor is there.
You must not lie.
Yeah.
And then secondly, the health personnel, like you said, are ethically bound to inform you on all the facts necessary for you, to know how to progress on the outcome, why decisions are being made, and if possible, what may happen after that, once you leave that particular office. So you have to understand what has occurred and may or may not happen much later, because you might need to be making adjustments, in your lifestyle or any of that, and you need to know. And again, so with that, I always tell people, when you visit a doctor, or after, let me also use your words, not just about the doctor, but when you've had a healthcare service, you must be able, in your own words, to actually explain what has happened or what was wrong with you and how you're supposed to take care of yourself going forward. If you cannot interpret in your own words, then you haven't had a visit.
There's a lot of truth in what you just said, because I've actually, when a doctor is clerking a child, there's this, okay, as a child, you cannot really tell what is wrong with you.
Exactly.
So your parents or guardian has to be the one to try to explain what they feel is wrong with you.
Yes.
But then you also have adults struggling to express themselves. And so the doctor is saying, for example, you come in, you say, oh, your tummy, is hurting. And the doctor is like, where? Is it under your belly? Is it on top of your belly? Is it on the side of your belly? And you cannot even describe it. And people don't realize that information, as tiny as it may seem, is very vital.
Very important. It's very important. And you know why that happens? Because people they don't see themselves as a healthcare consumer.
Yeah.
You don't see yourself as a consumer. Just like in every other consumer-centered system, in every sector, you are a consumer. You're coming to get something from the health system.
Yeah.
So you also need to prepare. People don't prepare to go to hospital.
True.
They just, go in there, whatever they do, they finish and drop it there.
I think the worst is, doctor, I don't know.
And sometimes come with that, it's charity, beggarly attitude, just help me, that kind of thing. So it's important they also understand that your visit does not start and stop in that doctor's office.
Yes.
You have to, it comes from when you have already made up your mind and said, oh, I'm going to see this. So whether it's starting from even the kind of plan you purchase in your HMO, you be very honest. Sometimes you tell people to fill form, they hide all the underlying or chronic illnesses.
Yes.
That is already a wrong start.
Yeah.
So you must know that in you participating, in you being honest, you're also being part of the decision-making process in your own health, which is really important for you to get a better outcome. Yeah. And the doctor wants to help you. In terms of safety, what is he doing for you? Have you told him you have that allergy? So that in trying to help you, he does not harm you.
Yes.
What about the efficiency of the whole treatment? You have to interact. A doctor wants to send you for this. No, I don't have money for this. Can I go for that? Are there other options?
Alternatives.
Exactly.
And people don't know.
That the healthcare was affordable does not mean that it is below quality.
Yes.
So affordability is very important. Effectiveness.
Yes.
What are your values? What do you want the doctor to integrate in the course of, treating you with his clinical expertise and all the evidence, of research and everything? What's your value as a person, integrated in it? You have to make that conversation. What about time? Timeliness. When you're going for the appointment, is it okay for you? Or would you rather come? Is there something that may even stop you from coming to the hospital? Exactly. So all of that, and not only going to the hospital, like I said, it doesn't just start in that office. It starts from when you have now said, I'm ready to take care of my health.
Yeah.
I'm going to purchase a HMO plan. I don't want to pay out of pocket. These are the things I want to do. In that timeliness, everybody is listening to you, all the healthcare personnel, because they are responsible for you. And which is why just last month, in Novo Health, we launched what we call the Novo Apoyo. And what it does is that, and it has changed, disrupted how people actually go for their hospital visit. You come in there, so people are not scared and say, I'm going to waste all the time in the hospital. I am not going. So you come, all you have to do is a digital process, which is different. So instead of the hospital trying to find you out, you are coming there self-checking. Like I said, you're a healthcare consumer.
Yeah.
Just like you're traveling in the airport, you know, you can check, you know how you do.
Yeah.
Before, we never used to check ourselves in. Now you check yourself in.
Yeah.
So in healthcare now, you can check yourself into the hospital at your convenience.
Yes.
So you come in there and the doctor is able to, you know, they're not checking your blood pressure because you have waited, you're angry, your blood pressure is high.
Yeah.
You know, so all these things can be disrupted. And then you talk about patient-centeredness. The doctors, when you now get to the hospital, what happens? They have to inculcate, you know, your needs, your values. They have what are your you have to express what your preferences are. What are my preferences in this course of treatment?
And then it's also important to be open-minded to tests.
Exactly.
People are so wary of tests. They think of the cost. They think, can't you just diagnose by the things I've told you?
Now, which is why your communication is very, very key. There's just a lot, because
really,
that's where you also look at equity.
Just
as a person.
Said, there is a lot.
There's a lot.
But be open.
But
really,
you have to be
say
open.
Thank you very much. This has been very enlightening, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people learned from it as well. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Dorothy. We'll take this quick break. You're watching Wake Up Nigeria. We'll be back in a bit. To stay with us.
And you're welcome. Final segment here.
Yes, yes, yes. With us on the couch is Violet Ejiata. She's a seasoned beauty queen whose undying penchant for service to community birthed her passion for female reproductive health, propelling her to participate in not one, but 3 beauty pageants.
Yes, by the way, she won all of them. How do you do that? You win all of them. Now, she's got this initiative dubbed the 528th Project. Now, she leads a community of visionaries who are dedicated to combating period poverty and addressing female genital health issues. You are welcome, Violet. Good to have you here.
Thank you very much.
There's nothing to win here. I hope you're not here to win anything. Just, you know, that's your thing.
I'm very competitive, but no.
Yeah.
You seem, you look, I mean, I admire you because I'm not a competitive person. So, I mean, for those of you who are very competitive, well done. And, well, 528 projects. Is that more like a goal to achieve or to, you know, 528
the number, is it
projects?
significant?
Yes,
When it is significant, yes. And when I tell you what it stands for, you're going to connect with it a lot more than you initially thought. So the universal menstrual experience for women and girls across the world is actually for 5 days every 28 days. 528 project actually stands for our menstrual cycle.
Don't you just love that moment? I mean, I'm sure you do that on purpose all the time. Like when I tell you, you see, you connect with it. You're looking for that reaction.
And I love that you did connect with it.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
So I know that you're a woman, and I mean, menstrual cycle, we all females go through that. Why is this project very passionate to you?
Why I'm very passionate about this project, on my second outreach in October 2020, because I started during, you know, the crunch of COVID-19. So during my second outreach, I was doing my, you know, typical menstrual lecture, and there was this girl who came by. She was obviously, you know, within her menstruating age, and she asked what I was holding. You know, it was in a rural community here in Lagos State, and she asked what I was holding. I was holding a sanitary pad. And for a girl that age to ask such a question, it then meant to me that she had never seen, she had never used a sanitary pad. And it was then I decided to make that commitment to ensuring that more people, more girls get to have access to sanitary pads, and not just the resources, the materials, but the education and the knowledge as well, because there's such a huge knowledge gap. And we cannot blame people for being ignorant if we're not taking active steps to ensuring that they're educated and they're informed on menstrual health and menstrual hygiene.
So you use the platform of pageantry to
promote
menstrual health. That's very, very unique, by the way, I must say. And we were just looking at a video while we were talking of you on one of your outreach. And I'm just wondering, there it goes again. This was where? Where was this?
This was somewhere around Ilaje here in Lagos State as
Elijah,
well.
yeah.
Yes.
I know where Elijah is.
So these people have like a community bathroom. They
Okay.
don't have the most hygienic or sanitary systems or
Environment.
facilities around. So these are things we're tackling as well. It's not just, distributing free sanitary pads. There's a lot that comes with attaining hygiene, personal hygiene.
Sure.
So what advantage or what knowledge there for the male child or the men? Do you also educate them regarding this as well, especially the subtle stigma around menstruation?
Yes, so one of the things we're trying to do is to really address period stigma by involving more men. So there's actually always men who come for our outreaches and for our programs, and these men, so they make it much more comfortable for the boys to talk about it, for the boys to learn about it. Because one of the ways to break this cycle, this unnecessary vicious cycle of period stigma, is by addressing the boy child. So I say putting the men in menstruation.
Oh, you are just full of gems, aren't you? Wow! Stop already. You're winning. But question now, what form does this stigma take in any case, in the cases that you've been privileged to see?
So I see it majorly from our cultural and religious prejudices. Most of this are actually informed from the things that have been inherited, so to speak. It's what your father tells you, you then, pass down to your own sons as well. There are many grown men who are still uncomfortable, talking about just I want to change my sanitary pad. It's an issue, for a lot of people. And addressing it is by using their gender. Use somebody who looks like them. Use somebody who is within their circle. Just get one person, speak with that person, and they become an advocate.
Now let's talk about the role, because yes, there is there's the responsibility of NGOs like yours or foundations like yours. There's also the role of individuals, even as females, that we have to play in stopping this period or ending this period stigma. Talk to us about some of the roles that even we as individuals can play. So, for example, if I am, if I'm in a situation where, I'm stained and I go around asking for sanitary, I've been where I've even asked a male for a sanitary towel before. It wasn't to make him feel uncomfortable. It was to make him understand that, there's nothing wrong with asking.
Yes.
Right? I wanted him to realize that. So what are the roles that we could go further to, play in making sure that, this is okay?
So there's two questions here, and I want to actually point them out so I can actually answer them independently. So one of them is making men comfortable enough to not just talk about it, but to also carry on sanitary towels, which is part of what we're doing. We're teaching men how to wear, yes, because, you're going to have, by God's grace, you're going to have a daughter.
I do have a daughter.
He has a daughter.
Okay, and she's going to grow to be a woman.
I was hoping her mother was going to take care of that part.
No, you'll take care of it.
So that's what many men say. But I was on a session, on an interview where the CEO of Miss Lesotho had mentioned that when her cousin started, her mom was not around. And there's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of young girls like that who, for some reason, don't have a mother or a mother figure present, either due to work, other engagements, divorce, whatever it might be. And her father wore the sanitary pad for her upside down.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay.
Because he
didn't have the education.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she wore the sticky part on and went to school.
Wow.
And got stained.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm taking lessons from that.
That's the price of ignorance.
Yeah.
Girls continue to pay that price. That's what happens. And then what we women can do. I would share a very interesting story. When I was in NYC camp, there was this time, because I'm a heavy flower, and I really wanted to go and change. And there was actually a female security guard. And I had spoken with her and I said, excuse me, ma'am, I'd like to go change. I feel like I'm about to get full already. When you're full and you can't sit down, you're just uncomfortable generally.
Yeah.
And she says to me, go and get stained first.
Ooh.
I'm not even joking.
Oh, wow.
You see, there's a lot of conversation to be had, about period stigma, you know, menstrual hygiene and menstrual health.
Yeah.
We can't exhaust it.
We
right
can't.
here.
But your
What I
social
would
media
say,
handle
yeah.
is what exactly?
At Violet Edgeata.
At Violet Edgeata. So
Yes.
people can direct questions to
To
you. on
you.
there.
Absolutely. But there's one takeout I want people
Real
to
quickly.
actually have from this. Empathy. Empathy is this central element that's going to help all of us to grow out of period stigma, to grow out of the situation.
Very important.
That embody.
Very key. Empathy. Thank you so much. We have to head over to the couch.
Yeah, I want to
we
bring
forgot
you
to
to
talk
the
about your acting career, which we will.
I was
when
going
we
to
get over
ask
the
you.
kitchen, but hey, let's
bring you over.
Right.
Love it.
All
right.
And we are back, people. Yes, this is Chef Harmony, and welcome to the kitchen. Thank you. Yes, so this morning he's made for you Queen's Special Ofada rice with beef kebab.
Yeah.
So quickly, would like to, know what you think about it.
Yeah, give it a
Have
taste.
A lot of love went into that meal.
Yes. I'm really hoping my trainer doesn't see
No. Go on.
supposed to be on a no-carb diet.
Okay.
Don't worry, we won't tell her. You're not on national TV.
No, she's
I
not.
know? Okay, great.
Actually, you are.
I'm going to tell. I was waiting for you to take the first bite before I tell your trader.
Yeah, so let us know. Do you like it? Love it?
I mean, I've not had rice in like 4 weeks.
Ooh.
Go on and sin.
What such discipline.
Have some more.
As in the discipline,
Right? What do you think?
Fantastic.
I can
Great.
imagine.
Fantastic. It's very flavorful.
Nice.
And I love, oh my God.
Oh, that
Yeah.
good. That
It's really
good.
yummy.
Oh,
It's
great.
really yummy.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Fantastic. Well,
Thank you so
very
much, Chef Amadi. Well done. All those glory, obviously, resulted in something fantastic. All
We
right.
didn't get enough time
It's
to
a
talk
worthy cheat.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I'm just looking at her facial expressions. They're just so delightful.
Thank you so much, Violet, for being here. And Chef Harmony, thank you so
Thank you, Chef Harmony.
And to all our guests for being on the show today. We had such a beautiful time, and I hope you as well did as well. We have to go now, people. Wake Up Nigeria continues tomorrow. Oh, well, yeah, tomorrow. You join us again.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.